Welcome to Talk is Cheap. Finally on the air. Oh man, I'll tell you what.
Listen, I think Pete Wilcox had something to do with that.
I love broadcasting live because you never know what's going to happen. And you know what? Hey, I look at it this way. It was supposed to happen that way.
Well,
Anyway, welcome everybody to another evening of Talk is Cheap. I am your host, Angelo Mad Dog DeCipio, joined as I am each and every week by Amelia Valerio Pitbull Chapman. How you doing, Amelia?
I'm good. Wonderful. How are you?
Amelia, great show last night with Mark Sock and the producer of the Golden Girls.
It was an awesome
And
show.
the writer of Laverne and Shirley. How about that stuff?
We learned a lot yesterday.
Heavy
a lot.
hitters hanging out with, the poor boy from Barrington and some poor lass from Odessa, Texas. We have an interesting guest tonight. He's a guy I've known. It's hard to imagine even to say these words. I've known Steve McCoy for nearly 50 years because neither one of us look that old.
You don't, actually.
Steve
you don't
McCoy
look old at all.
is the world's foremost Tom Jones impersonator, not tribute artist. He is an impersonator. And we're going to talk about the difference between the two. He is he's also a dear friend of mine. He is the man who I say he rules Las Vegas with an iron fist and a bottle of wine. Stephen, how are you, my brother? There you go.
There we go. Cheers. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Pour one for million myself.
Absolutely.
Cheers. I'm going to ask you, Angelo, to turn your mic up a little bit if you can.
I will attempt to do that right now.
But cheers. And
Cheers.
it's great to hear you both.
Absolutely. To an interesting week.
All right. All right. How are we sounding now, Stephen?
That's as high as it goes, I'm assuming.
Okay. Well, the fact that you have our voice.
Yeah, if you get close to the mic, if you get closer, it gets louder.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I spent a lifetime in radio, so I know how to project.
That's the truth.
Yep. So Steve McCoy is here at my request for a couple of reasons. It's been too damn long since you've been here. Almost 2 years, Steve.
Has it really?
It's been almost 2 years. You and I were in the full swing of the pandemic in 2020. Last time you were here.
It had just started, didn't it?
Yeah, sure did. It was March. You were here in March or April. Actually, right around this time.
Same time.
Yeah, same time. Sure was. 2 years ago. Almost to the day, honestly. So we're going to make this Steve McCoy Day on Talk is Cheap. Because Steve comes to visit us about once every couple of years. So anyway, how you doing, brother? You're looking like beautiful in Vegas. You got sunshine.
The weather's beautiful. It really is. It's beautiful out here.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you what. I am so envious, but you know what? You can't be envious of what you never had. So, what the hell?
You don't want the humidity here in Florida, so no.
Yeah.
She's
in Florida. I'm in New Jersey.
Florida's beautiful this time of year. It still is.
Yeah, except for the humidity. I'm still not used to it.
Started yet?
Yes, very much so. I'm used to Texas hot weather. Yes.
Well, I'm in Jersey, and we've got a monsoon happening right now. So.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And I'm in Vegas, and the weather is absolutely beautiful. It's probably about 80 degrees, and with a.
Oh, shut up! 80
it's
degrees.
89 here. Yeah.
Oh, shut up!
Humid.
80 degrees. It's 48 degrees and raining right now. It's like shit outside. Typical Jersey weather. Steve,
my goodness.
Boy, your life, my friend, is a fairy book. No one would believe it if you tell them, but yet I know you and I know what you've gone through. And sometimes I even have to think to myself, did this really happen? Like, did his life turn out this way for real? And it really is the thing of folklore. It really is. So you and I know your story, and you've told it on the show, but it's been a long time since you've been here. So for Amelia's benefit and the 7 or 8 people watching, no, the probably
the 271 channels we have watching, actually.
Yeah.
I wish I could see some of the people.
Yeah. So tell everybody how you came to be regarded as the foremost Tom Jones impersonator in the world.
I always loved Tom Jones. I remember my mother and my sister used to he used to come on Thursday nights on Channel 6.
Yes.
On ABC. And I used to watch, and I just watched how the two of them went crazy. They just loved it. And I'll tell you, as a young kid growing up, there was a kid in our neighborhood. His name was Pete Caffrey.
Yes.
And Pete passed away at an early age. But when we were young kids, me, myself, Ed McGurk, a dear buddy of mine.
Oh God, yeah, sure, McGurk.
The three of us grew up together, and we used to play around and everything, and we used to play. You know how you would play Cowboys and Indians, stuff like that. Well, we played Elvis Presley, and Pete was Elvis Presley. We were little. We were little, and we would put a record on, and Pete would pantomime to the. If he was around right now, he'd kill me.
Oh, gee.
but we used to, and Ed and I were always the pranksters. We were always fighting with each other and everything else. So, but as time went on, here comes Tom Jones, and I look like Tom Jones. So I started pantomiming, and I used to put shows on in the basement. Neighborhood kids would come in.
Oh yeah.
And watch the show.
Go yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, every Saturday, my poor family had to go through hell listening to my music. But
yeah,
people would pay. We had 10 cents in the back, 15 cents in the middle, and the front row was 25 cents.
A quarter, absolutely.
Yes.
And they would line up. I wouldn't let anybody come in until 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
They would line up outside every Saturday, and they'd come and watch a show. And I would use local kids to do different. They would do different characters.
Yeah.
As we did it a little more, we started to bring bands in. I remember I brought a friend from school. He had a band, so we started to do that. And I just always liked it. And I always pantomimed and never did anything else with it. But then after high school, they had Tom Jones. This is 1989. And Tom Jones had a big hit, a resurgence with the song Kiss.
Sure. Absolutely.
It was a big hit. And WMMR, John DeBella, remember him?
I used to work for him, yeah.
Did you really? Yeah.
I did.
Well, John DeBella had Tom Jones on the radio show. He was from Brook Plaza down Atlantic City, and they did a Tom Jones lookalike contest.
Yes.
And all my friends, everybody said, you got to go down. You got to go do this. And I went and did this Tom Jones lookalike contest. Yeah. And when I got down there, they told me, they said, what song are you going to do? And I went, huh? I got to sing? And they said, yeah. And I said, I never sang before. And I think it's not unusual. There were 10 other contestants, and Tom Jones was the judge. And the people went nuts as soon as I started singing. There were 800 people in the audience. It was live on the radio, and I won first prize.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I couldn't believe that. But to make things even better is that there was a gentleman from Las Vegas, and his name was John Stewart. He had a show called Legends in Concert.
Absolutely.
And he was performing down in Atlantic City at the time at Harris in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And he happened to be up in his room getting ready to go down for the show that night and saw me on the news. Local boy wins Tom Jones lookalike contest. And he was looking for a Tom Jones.
Now think about what you just said, okay? The probability of all of these things lining up just this way have to be 1,000,000,000 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's too unbelievable to think that these things actually took place.
I couldn't believe it, Angelo.
I know you and I have talked about it. I know that what you're telling everyone is the truth. I witnessed your rise. Okay, we know this. I know you for a long time. Before this, you were a landscaper.
Yeah, a
who
half-assed landscaper.
Who happened to look like Tom Jones.
Yeah,
you know, and then you always looked like Tom.
This opportunity came along. I couldn't even imagine that.
Oh my God! Yeah,
that something like this was going to happen.
It's craziness, brother. Crazy.
He got in.
Let me ask you a question because it's going to tie into exactly where you're going with this. So John Stewart sees you. He sees you on the news that night. Do you get a phone call or a visit immediately?
I got a phone call like a day or two later.
Okay.
And he asked me if I would come down to Atlantic City to do an audition.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, for what? He said, oh, for my show. I got a tribute show. I said, people get paid for doing this? And he said, oh yeah. He said, this is great. He said, I've been looking. Hey, buddy, I've been looking for a Tom Jones, and you're the guy I want. So I went down there that night, watched this show, and Angelo, I was blown away.
Oh yeah, you and I both know, absolutely.
I mean, he had a guy that opened the show, Donnie Ray Evans, who
absolutely,
did Nat King Cole.
Yes, sir.
And he would open with his back to the audience. And you would hear the introduction. It was dark on stage, and you would hear, ladies and gentlemen, the velvet voice of Mr. Nat King Cole. And all of a sudden you'd hear, Mona Lisa, men have named you. And you got the chills. And he turned around. When he turned around, he looked just like him.
Yeah, it's scary, isn't it?
And Ramblin' Rose, he would go into that.
Yeah.
And unbelievable. Then there was another guy that became a very dear friend, and his name was Tony Roy. He closed the show.
Yeah,
he
Tony.
was
Elvis, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he was Elvis.
Spot
There's
on.
a lot of guys out there. There's a lot of guys out there doing this, and no offense to any of them at all. And I know a lot of them. I've worked with a lot of them.
Yeah.
But Tony in his heyday was one. He was
the best.
Yeah.
The best. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of seeing Tony and knowing him briefly. I wish to God that life were kinder to Tony now. I don't even know if he's still around. I know that he's.
Yeah. Tony's doing. He's recovering. He's had some troubles.
Yeah.
But he's recovering. He's hanging in there.
Good.
He's in Branson. He's
got
a beautiful family. Got a beautiful family, and got 2 beautiful kids, and his wife.
That's wonderful. I'll tell you what, he got hurt. Let's just tell everyone what happened. He got hurt, and he was out of commission for a long time. And I'm glad to see that he's on the mend. There were people, quite frankly,
he's a strong guy.
Yeah, and he's got strong faith too, and that goes a long way.
Oh my God,
yeah. And so you see this world of celebrity tribute artists and impersonators and think like they actually get paid to do this. They make a living doing this.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. So
I couldn't believe it. I did the audition. I went down there, did the audition. He had me sing Delilah. I must have sang it about 5 times. I couldn't even hit the notes. It was crazy.
Right.
And that was the end of it.
Yeah.
I didn't hear from him again for about a month and a half. And he gave me a call out of nowhere, and he wanted me to come to Las Vegas and audition.
Steve, didn't you get a phone call from a gentleman named Rod Stewart?
That was his brother.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was his brother.
His brother's name was Rod Stewart.
Yeah,
kind of funny if you think about it.
Oh yeah, Rod gave me a call, and he said that we're looking for you to come out here, and we want you to audition to go into the show.
Right.
And I said, okay. And I took the chance and went out there. They put me up in the hotel. I went down there in the afternoon. It was really funny because they rearranged the keys of the songs for me because I never sang before.
Sure.
And we went through that and everything else. They put me on stage that night. He said, I'm putting you in the show tonight. I couldn't imagine this place. And at the time, Angelo, this show was the biggest attraction in Las Vegas. It was one of the biggest attractions.
Yeah, it absolutely was. I'll vouch for that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I every night they were lined up. We did 2 shows a night, 6 nights a week. And every night they were lined up outside. It was then the Imperial Palace. It's now the place is no longer the Imperial Palace. It's called the Link now, but the show's no longer there. It goes at the Tropicana now.
Yes.
And the show that I was in to go see this show today is the shell of what it used to be.
Oh my God, it's so sad. It really is.
It really is. It's a shame. The creative genius is gone.
It really
and there's so many fabulous tribute artists out there. There's so many.
Well, you know what, Steve? You and I both knew you more so than myself, but I knew quite a few people that were in the show. Bobby Palermo, of course. James Lowry, another incredible Elvis tribute artist, impersonator, if you will. And guys like that. But those kind of guys are like a rarity now. It's the spontaneity is gone. It's so rehearsed. It's so scripted. It's just so.
They're almost a lot of these.
It's very paper guys, now.
Angelo. The funny thing about growing up in this impersonator business, the funny thing about it is when I started, or when I was young, you didn't have YouTube or anything like that.
Oh God, no.
So when you saw, for instance, myself, when I saw Tom Jones perform on a Thursday night, that was in my head. When I went to see him live at the Latin Casino, which you and I have talked about before,
oh, absolutely, sure.
When he first got there, the
marquee, yeah. Remember the marquee?
He's here.
He's here.
Yeah.
That's all it said. He's here.
He's here. And he got in trouble with a lot of church people.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because they were saying that it's it's referring to God. You know, he is here. Anyway. But the first 2 years that he was there, he's here. And when the second year he came back, it was, he's back.
He's back, yes.
They never said his name.
No, they didn't need to.
No.
People knew.
Yeah. And that was crazy. But I got off track for a minute. But you didn't have YouTube to go to study.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you didn't. They were just starting with VHS and all that stuff.
Oh my God, yes, Steve, sure.
And
incredible.
You worked off of memory, and a lot of these impersonators back then worked off of memory. The guys today have so much a plethora of music.
Oh my God, yeah.
And video and vintage stuff to look at.
One of the things, though, Steve, and one of the great advantages you had in pantomiming for so long was that you actually got to develop a style doing that would actually benefit you in your professional career, because you could be Tom Jones and never forget that you're Steve McCoy. And that's incredibly important.
It was the most. It has become the most important thing to me, Angela. Is that?
Yeah.
I was very, very fortunate. I was older.
Right.
I grew up in a neighborhood where, hey, you know, don't be a bullshitter, or whoever you are, you got to be who you are.
Exactly.
And my family, I mean, you are who you are. Don't ever say you're somebody that you're not.
Exactly.
So you grow up with morals, which we could go down that path if you want.
Oh, we will. Trust me. We're going to go there.
But I mean, you know, I am so happy that I got into business when I did. Most of the guys that I grew up around in the entertainment business, in the tribute business, they all came from other fields. As far as they had bands, they worked the Playboy Club, they worked lounges and stuff like that. I never had that advantage. I got my experience came from doing shows in my basement.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And that was invaluable.
It honestly was. And I drove the neighborhood crazy because I would play Tom Jones music loud as I could.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I was witness to some of it. Amelia.
Yes.
This is an amazing story you're hearing. I'm sure
I love it.
For my friend Steve.
I love it because it reminds me back with my childhood, because my mom would have her best friend come over with her kids, and it reminds me that I would have them sit on my bed in rows, and I'd have them pretend tickets, and I'd be singing Sylvia Hutton songs every time. I'd have her albums ready, and I'd be pretending to be my concert. Yes, well, she went by Sylvia back then, but now it's Sylvia Hutton. And I'd be singing Nobody, and they'd be like, do they remember to this day, are you going to sing a concert when you come back? I'm like, I guess I can, but I'm older now. So I remember the whole thing. I used to have the long hair, the barrette, and everything, and the dress, everything. It reminds me back of my childhood days, and I thank you for that, because I was like, oh my God, that reminds me of what I used to do. I mean, but I remember, I'm mean now, but I separated the two.
Didn't all kids do that kind of stuff? I mean, a lot of them didn't.
My sister was more of a tomboy. I was the type of person that stayed inside the house. My sister was like, "No, I'm gonna be riding my bikes outside." Nope.
Now, while you were doing your little thing in your bedroom, and Steve was in his basement, swiveling his hips to Tom Jones music, I was behind a microphone practicing my
Wolfman Jack. So see, we had our own little thing. What was your favorite?
Were you really?
Yeah, that was my hero, brother. Wolfman was my hero.
Yeah, that's his story.
I became a DJ because of Wolfman. And I still remember going, "How baby, y'all with the Wolfman."
Yep. And I wanted to become a country singer, and I never did. But oh well, that's a past history. But what was your favorite Tom Jones song to sing?
It's a funny story about that. I was watching Legends in Concert at Bally's in Atlantic City. The Blues Brothers were doing this, and after the show, everybody stands around for photo ops and stuff. Well, I had my sunglasses on. I had my little goatee going. Wasn't quite this white at the time, but when I was talking to somebody in Wolfman's voice. Well, the guy playing Jake Blues in the Blues Brothers said, "Have you ever auditioned for the show? Like, you might want to do that because you'd be great as an MC." I went, "Who would pay me to do this shit? Like, really, who would?" Come to find out, a lot of people would have. I missed that gravy train, brother.
Right.
But you know what? And look, everybody's life happens for a reason the way it does.
I was meant to be a co-host on the show with you. That's what it ended up.
Some people are meant to be on a stage like Steve McCoy, and some people are meant to introduce people that are on stage.
Like yourself.
That's my gig. I get to introduce you.
But Angelo, don't underestimate what you've done. I mean, you've worked with some of the greatest. High Lit, Jerry Blavat.
I have Jerry Blavat, High Lit, Dr. Don Rose, George Michael, of course. Oh my God, yeah. Yep. Super Lou, some of the best in Philadelphia radio at the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we just lost a Philadelphia favorite son, Bobby Rydell.
Yes, he passed away.
Yeah, Bobby Rydell. We lost Bobby.
Yeah. He's had some health issues.
He sure did.
Years.
Yeah,
he sure did for a long time.
Yeah, I heard it out there.
If I'm correct, Angelo.
Yeah.
He had 39 hits.
Yes.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
39.
39 number ones.
He
had 39 hits at the top or in the top 5.
5, yeah.
Never fell below the top 5. That's a fact. That's crazy stuff. He's up there with people like, believe it or not, he's up there with people like the Beatles, Elvis, Sinatra. He's up there.
That's incredible.
It really is.
I heard that today, and I was like, oh my God.
Well, Steve, Wildwood, New Jersey. The anthem is Wildwood Days.
Oh, yeah.
I had my Wildwood Crest T-shirt on last night in honor of Bobby.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah, did I?
Yes, it was a really nice shirt.
I've met him a couple times, and people that I know that knew him said the guy was just brilliant.
Yeah, and a genuine guy, nice guy.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that last night with Mark Sotkin, the television writer and producer of Laverne and Shirley, Golden Girls, It's a Living, shows like that. He was here last night. He said, and we talked about that, right, Amelia? About
we did.
How it's rare to come across a genuinely nice person in the business because, they have this tendency, Steve, to put on airs, to put on a facade.
Yes. And as soon as the camera is off, you really know the true character.
They have the public persona, and then they've got the real self.
Yes. Oh, I've met a few of them.
Yeah, well, you and I both, my friend. We sure have, absolutely.
And usually, and not being funny, it's usually the least talented.
It's almost always, yeah. It's in fact, he told a story last night about a not terribly gifted actress who all of a sudden became a diva because the network decided to take a chance on her and throw her a show that lasted 3 shows and they canceled her.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding you.
Yes.
3. They gave her they gave her 20 shows. She did 3 and they canceled her.
3 shows.
3 shows. That? Yep.
How about that? And it's a shame.
Yeah.
Really I'm going to tell you something that probably about the biggest blessing that that I got out of being in this business is the opportunity to become friendly with Tom Jones.
Yeah.
And you're not going to find a more down to earth, regular, straight out guy.
Steve, we have a feature. Amelia will tell you it's her favorite feature on the show. We call it Show and Tell.
Yes.
I want you to take a look at this. By the way, I had to get permission from oh God, I had to get permission from who was it? Let me make sure I get this right, because if I don't, they're gonna kill me. It was this company. Oh, please, please, please. This publishing company. Holy shit. Oh, Tree Publishing Company. The publishers of Green Grass of Home.
Oh my God.
I had to get their permission to use this clip.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding you, and it's your voice on the clip. Take a look at this.
The old hometown looks the same as I step down from the train, and there to meet me is my mama and papa. Down the road I look, and there runs Mary, how golden lips like cherries. It's good to touch the green grass of home. Yes, they'll all come to meet me, always reaching, smiling sweetly.
Angela, that was one of my mom's favorite songs.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yay.
It happens to be one of my favorite Tom Jones songs as well.
Yeah,
I love that song.
Great tune. Great tune.
It really is. It's an interesting song because it tells the story of a man who is dying, and will they actually come to see him? Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting song. You can. I've never heard that one, but I've heard that it was a song about a man dying.
No. If you listen to the words of the song, he is in jail, and he's facing in the morning.
Yeah,
he's going to be facing the gallows.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
He says in the song, he's going through in his mind. He's seeing, the old house that looks the same, and then he wakes up and he realizes that he was only dreaming.
Is that where he says in the song?
Yeah, that's where the music goes down. And he says, I was only dreaming.
Yeah.
He said,
and then
there's a guard,
and
there's a sad old padre. Arm in arm, we'll walk at daybreak. Then I will touch the green grass of home.
Boom.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful
favorite part of your show.
To to Tree Publishing for allowing you to giving us that courtesy. That's nice.
Yes, and thanks to Steve McCoy for performing it.
Yes.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
It is an amazing piece of music sung by a remarkably talented and down-to-earth guy, a guy I'm proud to call friend. Let's talk a little bit about what this business has done for you besides made you like ridiculously wealthy.
It's been a beautiful business to me, and I've got no one more to thank than the Lord up above for seeing what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And Tom Jones, because without Tom Jones, this wouldn't have happened at all.
Brother, you had the blessing of the master himself.
He is, as I said, he's probably one of the nicest. He's just a down-to-earth regular guy, and
yeah,
I mean he doesn't need to spend time with me, but we've had a lot of fun together, jokes and smoking cigars, drinking and stuff. I have
a Tom Jones story to tell you. I don't know if I ever told you this one.
Go ahead.
But Billy, Billy's pub at okay, you know it now.
Yeah.
There was a very distinguished maitre d' there named Tommy, I believe. You know who I'm talking about? The tall fellow with the gray hair? Okay. Tom Jones was there one night watching Freddie Empire. There's a name for you, right? So I was off shift. I went back and I put my civilian clothes on, and I hung around watching Freddie Empire, not realizing that I was but 5 feet from Tom Jones, literally, and didn't realize it. And I'm applauding, and I have my little drink, and I look over, and I did one of these jobs. It was like, one of them things, And there's Tom Jones there with, a couple of distinguished gentlemen. One looked maybe very Italian. And so I took a cigar out, but I didn't light it. Because as I took it out, he goes, "Young man, do you enjoy smoke, young man?" I said, "Well, as a matter of fact, I do." He goes, "Come here, young man." And so I went up, the maitre d', Tommy let me in. And I sat with Tom Jones. This is no bullshit. This is, I'm telling the truth. And so I sat with him. He takes this stogie out that had to be like $500, okay? Because he didn't smoke nothing cheap. This shit was like primo.
No, he loved those number 2 Monte Cristo number 2s. Cuban.
Oh man, and that's not a cheap cigar.
That's what he likes.
Yeah, that's a money cigar. That's that cigar is rolled in $1,000 bill. But he just sitting there. He had his snifter of brandy or whatever it was, and a little drink, a little cocktail, and I sat and smoked the cigar with Tom Jones.
How cool is that?
And watched Freddie Empire, who I got to know in Atlantic City and Las Vegas when I lived in Vegas.
Is that?
It was way fucking cool, because he was just a great guy and loved to tell dirty stories and dirty jokes. And Steve knows what I'm talking about. He's got a wicked sense of humor. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a wicked sense of humor. Now, tell me about the time that you were mistaken for his son, because I read something on the internet about this.
He was working at the time. Now, some people will remember this, others may not. But remember Valley Forge used to be Valley Forge Music Fair.
Music Fair, sure, yeah.
It was a theater in the round.
Yes.
And I would go up there after I was done work. I would go up when he was appearing there I would go up there and walk, and I had a suit and tie on, dressed up.
Sure.
And the security just opened the door and let me in.
Really?
They would take,
Oh my gosh.
They would take me, and I never said a word. When they saw me, they said, "Oh, how you doing? Then come this way."
Oh my goodness.
Said
Yeah,
a
the
word.
story he's telling you is absolutely true.
And I would go over. They would take me over to the sound booth,
Mhm.
and I would stand right there. And they opened the door for me to get in the sound booth, and I'd say, "No, I'll stand here." Swear to God.
Mhm.
This went on every night that I went up there. And come to find out later on, the sound guy became Tom Jones's production manager, to his tour manager, Sandy Battaglia, great guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Sandy this years later, when we'd be all out having a couple of cocktails and talking. You did what? And I said, yeah. I mean, practically every night.
Yeah.
I'd have asked for some food.
He's not kidding.
I watched the show.
Here's the remarkable thing.
Mhm.
Here's Amelia. Here's the remarkable thing about the story that Steve is telling you.
Mhm.
It was a twist of fate
Yes.
that all of this almost never happened.
Mhm.
And I'm going to let you hear it from the horse's mouth how blessed and how lucky this guy is that he's sitting on a gold mine right now that almost became a pile of shit. Okay? Tell her what happened, my brother.
With
the guy almost not letting you in the door in the casino.
Well, I had gone down. This is when I went to do the WMMR.
Mhm.
I had gone down there. Now, mind you, it wasn't. I wasn't. It wasn't. I didn't know what was going to happen. We were just going down there as a joke, as a fluke.
Mhm.
And a bunch of my friends and I went down. I got a room down there the night before, and we all went down there, and we partied pretty good. And we had to be at the showroom by 8:00.
Yeah.
And I wake up. It might have been 10 of 8, a quarter of 8.
Oh,
and I'm going, oh my God, we got to get downstairs. We were all hungover. Anyway, all of us, we all went running down there, and they were just getting ready to close the door. And the security guy that was there, he said, I'm sorry, it's too late. You missed it. And I said to him, I said, look the way I'm dressed. I says, come on, you got to let me in here. I said, well, come all the way down here. He said, well, I understand. Come on in. And as I came in, Tom Jones was coming in. So we see each other. Now, I have met him before at the Latin Casino a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it was just, he was just nice. And I said to him, I said, hey, nice to meet you. Shook his hand. I said, how you doing? He said, well, I've got a bit of a head. I haven't been to bed yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh my God, so do I. I said, I was drinking champagne because of you. He laughed at that. And that was the end. That was the end of that. And then, then I went out there, and then I found out that, hey, you got to sing. I went, oh my God.
Now, keep in mind, Amelia, Steve never had a singing lesson in his life.
Mm-hmm.
Never had a singing lesson in his life. Okay.
Hey, Amelia, when I saw him for the first time,
Angelo, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead, brother.
My mom, she tried to take me She tried to get me to go to singing lessons. She tried to take me to go to tap dance lessons. The guy said to me, he says, Miss McCoy, I'm sorry, your son can't keep time. He'll never be able to do any dance. It's a waste of time. You're wasting your money. The lady that we would go to told my mom, you're wasting your time. He can't sing.
Isn't that funny? Now this is how he makes
look at you now.
That's how he makes it. Let me ask you a question about that. So where did that voice come from? When I saw you for the first time since we were kids, it was at Bally's in Atlantic City. You were performing. Jim Lowry was closing the show as Elvis. Bobby Palermo was in the show, and you were in the show. And my other, I think that
Lori Mitchell Gay was probably doing Tina Turner.
Yes, Lori Mitchell Kay was doing Tina, and E. Casanova was Michael
Jackson. Oh my God, he was unbelievable, wasn't he?
Oh my God, please, scary, brother, scary.
Yeah,
because you could stand up to him face to face and look like Michael.
Yeah,
and without the makeup either. But that was the first time I saw you since we were kids, and I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if that's he's singing or he's lip syncing or because I wasn't sure what the show was all about. I saw legends in concert and these lookalikes. Let's go see what the hell, right? I had a young lady.
How about James Lowry's voice?
Oh my God, this man shook the theater when he sang. He had such a powerful, powerful voice. And he's another guy that I wish life were better to. I really, really do. Because James is a really nice guy and doesn't forget anything.
Oh my God, he remembers everything.
Everything to detail. Oh my, please, Lord. The detail this man remembers.
Very talented guy. Very talented guy. A great singer. Absolutely loves Elvis Presley.
He really does. And looks a hell of a lot like him, too.
Yeah, he's done. Oh, my God. He started pretty much the same time I did.
Yeah, he sure did.
We started around the same time.
Yeah. At the time, Steve, you would be hard-pressed to find another Elvis tribute act that really kind of encapsulated Elvis the way James Lowry did. Maybe the only one, maybe, and it's an iffy maybe, might have been a guy named Larry Seth, the Big L.
See now, I never saw him.
Really?
I never saw him.
I actually have. I had the
I saw. Did you ever see a guy named Johnny Hara?
I actually have, and he was frightening, scary good.
I mean, to the point that people were thinking that he was Elvis's son.
Yeah, well, this guy looked like Elvis's twin, brother.
Did he really?
Yeah.
What's his name again?
Johnny Hara.
No, not Johnny Hara.
Oh, Larry Seth. This guy, he was the Aloha from Hawaii Elvis.
Was he really?
He was down pat. Like, that was Elvis. Yeah. But his problem, and I know even today, I still know his manager, his former manager, I should say, Rob Russin, a great friend of mine, good guy. And Rob basically stopped the limo one night in the rain, told Larry, get the F out of the car. You're done.
Oh, my gosh.
And that was the end of his career as Elvis.
He must have done something.
He did. His ego took charge. That's why we're talking about guys that are humble, remaining humble, remaining grounded in a business that will ground you. Brother, let me tell you something. This business will humble you.
Oh, yeah.
It will humble you.
Well, you know,
it's like they say, Steve. You know, be nice to the people on the way up, because the lips you kiss on the way up are the asses you're going to kiss on the way down.
Right.
It's the honest truth.
And
it's the truth.
It is.
Me being fortunate enough, 31 years doing what I do.
Yeah.
And, you know, the audience isn't as wide as it used to be. I mean, they're all getting older. You know what I mean?
Well, Tom is getting older. That's the thing.
He's 82.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's 82, but he just had a new, just put out a new CD. And it went #1 over in Europe.
Isn't that crazy? That's craziness.
He's just and he looks incredible.
Yes.
I mean, like guys like Tom Jones and Tony Bennett, they defy nature. They defy the aging process.
Yeah.
Tony Bennett, 95 years old, still singing.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And listening to him and Lady Gaga.
He's dealing with a little bit of dementia.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a shame. That's rough. Wayne Newton is back out here right now.
Right.
And his voice, he's gotten his chops back. He sounds great.
Really?
Yeah, he's working.
Wow.
And he's working over at Caesar's Palace.
It's interesting about Wayne. He's the guy that was riding the crest of the wave. He was king of Vegas for a long time.
He just celebrated his birthday. I think he's 80. I think he's 80 or 82.
Yeah, he would have to be a few years younger than Elvis. Elvis would be like 87 had he lived.
Yeah.
I think Wayne would probably be around 81, 82. Yeah, that would be about right.
Yeah. And Angelo, you know, everybody can say what they want to say about Wayne Newton and whatever. You know, there's always a comment, but
yeah,
the consummate performer.
No question about it. I know you'll get no argument from me, bro.
Yeah. His show, he did 2 shows a night, 2 2-hour shows a night, 7 nights a week.
Yes, he
sold out audiences every night, both shows, and played every instrument that you could think of.
Yep.
And sang his heart out. And people love Wayne Newton. And
absolutely.
Wayne Newton is there's another great talent.
Incredible talent.
Underestimated. Great voice too.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like I became a fan of Wayne a long time ago, and I got to see him in Atlantic City when he used to frequent here. Resorts International, that you know very well.
Oh, yeah.
Particularly the roof of that building. And that's an inside joke, Amelia. You're too young to understand that.
Well, I want to know what you were like when you were a kid.
You know, but Tom Jones and Wayne both played the same room there. It was the room at the Resorts International in AC. But I got to see Wayne there after being a fan for such a long time. No air conditioner. It happened twice. It happened with Tom Jones and it happened with Wayne Newton. Tom Jones, and I think you might have been at the Tom Jones show when the air conditioner broke.
I kind of remember this.
Yeah. I was there at the Tom Jones show. The air conditioning unit broke in the theater. He did an 1.5-hour show soaking wet. In fact, the bleach, he was so wet, the bleach was like seeping out of his shirt, dripping onto the stage. But he did the entire show. He did an 1.5-hour show. And Wayne Newton
back in the day worked his ass off.
Oh my God, brother!
I mean, he had said that he would lose between 8 to 10 pounds a night on stage.
Wow. Yep.
You know?
That's no lie. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, this guy was, oh my God, you know, women
incredible, incredible talent.
Yeah.
But you know, Wayne was one of those guys that he's another one that would do 2 hours, 2.5 hours, you know, and think nothing of it. You know, shut the door. We're not going anywhere. You know.
Oh yeah. Shut the doors. We're gonna stay here all night.
We're gonna be here all night, guys. So talk to me, Amelia. You got a one of the premier performers of Las Vegas.
Well, you said
right
that. You said you knew him when you were a kid. You said you knew him when you were a kid. I want to know what you were like when you were a kid. I want the inside story, the inside scoop.
Same as I am now. Absolutely wacko.
He's a fucking loon.
No, I'm talking about you. How you were, Angelo, when you were a kid.
Angelo. No, Angelo.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, he was a mild kid.
Here's the thing.
No, don't interrupt him, Angelo.
No, well, hold on a second.
I'm telling you the truth.
I'm gonna
go ahead.
Let me set this up for you, okay? So you'll get some kind of understanding about Steve and myself.
Okay.
Steve literally lived across the street from my cousin Chris Borghese.
Catty corner. Right?
Yeah, exact catty corner.
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin lived on one corner, and Steve's house was on the other corner,
mm-hmm.
but across the street, right? Steve and his friends used to make these movies, okay,
mm-hmm.
like John Wayne and Wyatt Earp, and they would do westerns, and they would bring the picnic tables out and do that. He's laughing because he knows what I'm talking about. My cousin Chris and myself, we were big wrestling fans. In our yard, we'd bring out the beach chairs and the tables, and we would wrestle and we'd hit each other with them. And Steve, he and his friends would throw each other on tables and play.
It's really the truth. Like when I mentioned,
I can't make this shit up. I'm not.
No, you can't. No,
people want to know, Angelo, you're such a bullshitter. I can't make this
I
shit
can just
up.
imagine you do that. That's funny. Go to one house for 1 hour and the other house for the other hour.
If I wrote a book about my life, no one would believe it because they would think it was made up. No one would.
I believe you. I will believe you.
My buddy Ed McGurk and myself, we would go around like on trash day.
Yeah.
Back then, people could put their trash out no matter what it was.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So we would get old furniture and bring it back to the house, and we would break it just enough so that when I'm sure I don't even know where this came from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where this stuff came from that you would do. So when we would do our fight scenes, which was the big thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You do your fight scene, and then you throw somebody onto a table. The table will break.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't even know where we came up with these ideas, because I'm telling you, just like I said earlier, it's not a lie. There was nothing but imagination. Evil Knievel.
Yeah.
Angelo, Evil Knievel? George Hamilton came out with the Evil Knievel movie.
Yes.
And at the time, I had a Schwinn cherry picker. No,
yes.
Not the cherry picker, pea picker. Excuse me.
Pea picker, yes, pea picker.
Yes. Beautiful with the hand of stingray bite. It had shock absorbers on the front and in the back. And I built a ramp in the backyard. I'm going to jump.
Yeah.
Well,
we used to do that at Chris's house. We would build a wrestling ring. We would take clothesline and wrap it around, the different poles. And that was our ring.
Yeah.
And then we would run the ropes and everything, jump off the top rope. We get on a chair and, pretend to jump off the top rope.
But you were really hitting each other with the chairs.
Yes, for real. Yes.
Yeah. See, we didn't know that was fake.
Well, we thought it was real, so we didn't know.
Y'all are just doing it anyway, yeah? Yeah, that's like my grandmother's house. All of us grandkids would get together. We'd find something to do, and there was like about 10 or 12 of us grandkids. We would find something to do outside.
Amelia, did you think you'd be having a conversation with two screwballs tonight? Incredible. Ask questions to Steve. Ask him about his career.
No.
What?
No. This is great stuff. Listen, I gotta come in here because I gotta. With all of the crap that we went through, I gotta plug in.
Oh, his phone's his phone's probably dying.
Okay.
Nothing could be better than that, right? Come on.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, we got to have Steve back for part 2.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. I would love to.
I absolutely, I'm telling you, and I love it.
We definitely got to have you back for part 2, brother. So let me ask you a question, my friend, and then we'll let you get your phone charged up and we'll let you go. So where does the career of Steve McCoy go now? You're fortunate that the person that you do is still alive.
Well, I'm still performing. I'm telling you, we're coming out of COVID.
Okay.
We're coming out of COVID, so things are starting to come back.
Right.
Starting to get calls. We've got a few jobs this summer that we're working. We're doing some stuff around here in Vegas. We just got done last week. We just did a show here in Vegas. Then I've got some stuff in the Midwest. I'm going to be in just outside of St. Louis in Cincinnati.
Okay.
And then this fall, I'm doing this Florida circuit, which I've been trying to get into. And boy, that's a close knit group.
Well, let me know where you're going to be in Florida. I would love to come see you.
I've got a few. I mean, it's a few of those theaters, and it's really, really. I'm excited about this, but that'll be in the fall.
Oh, great! I would love to come see you. Let me know when you're close by.
Let me tell everybody, if you want to contact Steve, if you'd like. By the way, Steve, are you auditioning a talent right now?
I am. I'm looking for good acts.
Okay. Here's where people can get a hold of you.
I don't mean any disrespect to anybody out there in the impersonator or tribute world. But man, I've seen some people that rock my socks. They're unbelievable. Yeah. There's some really talented people out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's others that they just it's not easy. It's not easy.
No, it's really not. It's a dedicated craft. It really is.
You know, just because you may look like the character, you've got to look, sound, and act like the character.
Exactly, and that distinguishes the impersonator from the tribute artist.
That's exactly right.
We have been advertising.
A lot of these guys today are just doing tribute.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Steve, we've been advertising all night. Steve McCoy at therealmccoyllc.com. That's been up on the screen all night. We've had that up here. And tell everyone it's Steve McCoy. This is Tom Jones, the tribute. The show is on the road soon. You can see Steve in a town or venue near you. Check the realmccoyllc.com for venues near you. Steve, you are when are you on the road? When does the show hit the road?
We've got stuff. It starts up after May.
Okay. Terrific. So and they want to get a hold of you, they can reach you at Steve McCoy.
They can check on the website. That'll give them information. Or check my Facebook page as well.
And Steve McCoy is on Facebook as Stephen McCoy. Check him out, friend him, ask him a question, hit him up, and you can have his contact information at your hands by going to www.therealmccoyllc.com. You've got his email there, his contact information, and you get a chance to see what they do. And I want to tell you something. They are good. You've got people with you like Sean Clush. I'm assuming Sean is still with you.
Sean Clush is one of the, in my opinion, is the ultimate Elvis tribute artist out there. Impersonator. Yeah. I mean, this guy is scary.
Yeah, he's really
I know a lot of guys, and I work with Sean. He's just a very talented guy.
Yeah,
phenomenal. We've got a show. I mean, he's getting back. You know, the business is kind of crazy because what's going on is that they are people that have booked shows from 2020 are honoring those contracts, so they've got to put those shows on first,
right,
before they can put any other shows together.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
a lot of shows that we had booked are now, you know, we're doing shows that were booked that were contracted 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's how bad it was. So you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's
Steve,
a great
what's the entertainment scene looking like in Las Vegas right now?
Is
it bouncing back?
It's picking up. There's a lot of talented people in town, an awful lot. Kid that I used to work with, Lou Gazzara, he's performing right now. He's got to perform on ships.
Okay.
He's doing great, and he's a local boy. He's from Hamilton, New Jersey.
Okay.
He was on a
not but 20 minutes from where I am. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Terrific.
But there's another talented singer. I mean, there's an awful lot of great entertainment out here in Las Vegas.
Absolutely.
And I just hope that I hope that people can weather the storm that we're going through.
Absolutely.
And, you know, that we'll be able to get out and be able to see live shows again.
Oh my God, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
I think live entertainment is coming back. There's nothing like, you can go to a movie and enjoy yourself, but there's nothing like seeing somebody perform on a stage.
Yes, I miss that.
With a band, with a live band.
Yeah, with a live band. You know, it's not the same with the track, folks. I don't care what anybody says. The tracks are fine if you want to shortcut it. But if you want the full experience, you know, you got to go to therealmccoyllc.com and watch real professionals, real bands, the best of the best, the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme. These guys, they don't play around.
They really are.
Yeah, you guys are the best. My friend, I love you, and I got to have you back for part 2. This is just a warm-up.
Yes.
We ran a little late tonight, but we had to because we almost didn't have a show.
What was going on? The sound was coming and going. I couldn't get connected. This is what happened.
I'm telling you.
This is what happens when you go to Haddon Heights High School.
Oh, well, Steve, my friend, you have a great evening. We're going to let you go. Amelia and I are going to tell everybody what's coming up.
Amelia, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Oh, it's my pleasure as well, sir.
And to everybody back in New Jersey, God bless each and every one of you.
Beautiful.
Please, prayers for the people over in the Ukraine.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And love one another, folks. It's not hard to do. And
amen.
And I want to leave you with one thing, Angelo. I want to tell you that.
Yes, my friend.
All of the situation, the problems that we run into and everything else, if we would start taking care of ourselves, our inner circle,
absolutely,
and become more of a family once again, sit down to dinner, listen to your children, get them off of the internet. Stop.
Oh boy.
Everybody just start to communicate again.
Absolutely.
I think that we would see a lot different. There's a lot of
think you're
beautiful
going to
people in
see
this
that
world.
happen. I think, my friend, you're going to see that wish come true. I got a funny feeling that that people are going back to the basics again. You know,
And the basics are what keeps us alive.
absolutely.
That's our foundation. People have
Absolutely.
got to be responsibility for their actions.
It all starts at the dinner table.
It does.
It all starts at the dinner table. If
home
you sit and eat with your family, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Everything revolves around food. Look, we're Italian. We can't help it. My brother, I love you, Steve. Take care, and I will call you back next week, okay?
Peace. God bless. God bless Tom Jones. God bless America. And God bless everybody.
God bless you, brother. Take a good
God
night.
bless you.
Take care.
Good night.
Good night,
God
Steve.
bless. Good night, Amelia.
Good night, sir.
Great,
Oh,
great
he was
show.
so sweet.
Great show. Yeah, that's Steve McCoy. Amazing
I love his
performer.
voice. He does have a wonderful voice.
Of a voice. He really, really does.
Uh-huh.
So you learned a little bit about
Mm-hmm.
how. I want to tell you something. You want to talk about the stars lining up just right and things coming into alignment.
Oh, yes.
If any one of those situations had changed, you and I are not talking to him tonight.
I know, right? I could not believe it. I was like, I could put my glasses back.
And here's the remarkable thing. Here's and this is absolutely true. He went up to the door that morning at 8 o'clock. Okay, it was 8:01, and the guy was about to lock the door and not let him in.
That was fate.
That would have made that one split decision changed his life forever.
Wow.
Think about that. Forever.
Yeah.
Because a doorman said, come on in.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, just like with my job.
If John Stewart from Legends in Concert doesn't see Steve on the news, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
If any one of those things does not happen,
we wouldn't be sitting here talking to him
Steve
today.
McCoy does not become the world's greatest Tom Jones impersonator.
Yeah.
Endorsed by Tom Jones himself.
Wow.
Okay? Think about that.
Wow.
Think about the gravity of that situation. Isn't that remarkable?
Very remarkable.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, tell everybody what is. We need to do this. We got to do this. I hate to do this now, but we have to.
Okay.
We were supposed to have Teal Piper, Roddy Piper's daughter, on the show tomorrow night.
We're still live.
Everything was all scheduled. Everything was ready to go. She confirmed today.
You're still live?
Moments before we went on the air tonight, Teal Piper canceled her appearance because something came up. Be that as it may, whether it came up or whether it didn't, you had a commitment to this show. I'm not going to take it easy on you just because you're Roddy Piper's daughter. You disappointed this show. You disappointed the people that were expecting to see you.
Especially me.
You will never be invited back on this program again. You'll never be asked to come back here. And we will never promote anything that you appear in. That's us. That's not you. You do what you want to do. We do what we have to do.
Exactly.
Now, if you got a problem with that, then do what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So we will have tomorrow night. We will have Gordon Soley's daughter, Pam Allen. She is a dear friend. She has been here before. She will be here, Lord willing, with another guest. If not, we will have Pam Allen for the entire show. And we're okay with that.
Exactly.
So Amelia, promote yourself, promote your social media. Where can people reach you? Email, etc.
You can reach me at Amelia Valerio Chapman on Facebook or a chap 70 at Gmail. And of course, here with you on Tuesday and Thursday nights.
Yes, you can see me with Amelia every Tuesday and Thursday. If you want to look at her, you got to. I'm sorry. If you want to see her, you got to put up with this, okay? Deal with it. All right. And you can find me here every Tuesday and Thursday hanging out with Amelia. And whoever the hell else decides to drop by. People like Steve McCoy. We are veering away, and I need to tell people this. We are veering away from the world of professional wrestling. And I need to tell people, and this is really important. And I wanted to do this the other night, but it wasn't the appropriate time or place. No. But I got to read this. After careful consideration, and by the way, this reflects Amelia and I together. We talked about this.
We did.
After careful consideration and much deliberation, Wrestling with the Future podcast has run its course as a viable wrestling podcast. Our final wrestling show will air April 28th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Our last and final wrestling-related guest will be Missy Hyatt. We are, however, not out of the podcast game, nor do we have any plans of walking away. Moreover, we're changing the format to suit our loyal fan base. Those people that have been there from day one, thankfully and gratefully still here with us. It is for them and for no other reason and for no one else that we continue and move forward past the mediocrity of pro wrestling. We will get haters and we will have them and we will move past them. And yes, we will. And that's okay. I expect to have haters. Look, when you're doing as well as we are, people are going to hate you. And they're going to find a reason to shit on you. And guess what? Amelia and I don't give a shit.
Nope. And we're going to have people that love us too.
We will have haters and we don't care. Not one little bit do we care.
Nope.
We aim to please no one but ourselves and our true fan base. We will move into the world of politics, news, pop culture, some sport, limited, much more controversial areas of public interest. And this will pain some of you, but we don't care. Honestly, I will just tell you straight up. If you don't like what we do, don't watch. It's okay with us because we've got thousands who do. Again, if you followed us and prefer the wrestling format, well, sorry, but it's not happening ever again. Not here. Not at all. There are plenty of wrestling alternatives like Jim Cornette, Vince Russo, Monty and the Pharaoh, Dan and Benny in the ring, and we encourage you to support them. Yes, you heard me right. Support Vince Russo, Jim Cornette, Monty and the Pharaoh, Dan and Benny in the ring. Support them. We want you to. We encourage you to support them. They all have something to offer. So do we. It's just not wrestling that we offer anymore. Yeah. I am exceptionally proud of the past guests we've had. Some of you that have been with us know that we have had some of the best, the cream of the crop of the wrestling game. And some of them have gone on to the big ring in the sky. I'm honored and proud that we have documented, in some cases, their very final wrestling podcast or interviews. Dominic DeNucci comes to mind. He is one of the premier guests that comes to mind. My co-hosts, both past and present, helped make this show what it is. And not just good, but great. From day one, with Jeff the Ref to Dan the Man, to my current and best co-host, Amelia Pitbull Chapman. They have all made this show great. And for that, I thank all of you, especially you, Amelia. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
So as we go forward and we continue to make our mark on the podcast world, we ask that you please walk away if you intend on seeing or hearing wrestling. It's not going to happen here. But if you're interested in the new the new road that we're taking, news, sports, politics, pop culture, current events, join us. Let's go over together, okay? Wrestling with the Future is our brand. It is alive and well, but the show is done. And it will never be repeated. I own the copyright. I own the trademark. Anybody who wants to see that can go to the I'll get it for. I'll put it on. I'll put the link in there. The FTC, whatever it is, Federal Trade Commission, whatever the hell it is. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah,
that's all I have to say.
Our show will go on.
Say again, Mil.
Our show will go on.
The show will continue, and it will go on. And Wrestling with the Future is still our brand, and it will remain our brand. You see it right behind me. WWTF, Wrestling with the Future, presents Talk is Cheap. For Amelia Pitbull Chapman, I'm Angelo Mad Dog DeCipio. Take care, everybody. Be good to each other. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
See you next time, everyone.